Lads. Lads, welcome to another match preview. How are we all doing? More importantly, how are you, Mr. Hal Stewart? It's been a while.
I'm all right, yeah. I mean, it's still so strange trying to get up for these games. In a way, the FA Cup is a massive distraction from the, as they say in America, dumpster fire that has been the league season.
Okay, that's fine with me. I don't know what those words meant, but yeah, we'll go with it. I feel like this is the last sort of little thing that we could take away from this season. And if we get dumped out of the cup by Chelsea, it's just going to be like, okay, let's get on with the championship season next season. But it is what it is. At least we're in something. At least we're not well bottom of the league and not got anything else to cheer about. We'll have to wait till Monday to have that feeling, won't we? Sorry, that's too much negativity too early. Anyway, so we're playing Chelsea in the next game. It is a 1:30 kickoff at Stamford Bridge, and the reason why I had to look down was because I think it was either yesterday or the day before. It said it was like a 10-2 kickoff or something really random, and I got really confused. And I'm thinking, I wrote it down, and then I've had to change it for obvious reasons. But yeah, it is a 1:30 kickoff at Stamford Bridge, live on the BBC, which we've not had that for quite a while. I can't remember when the last time it was, to be honest. But we're obviously going to be doing a watch along as well. Hal, what time are we going to be going into that?
The reason you want to join us is that the BBC's coverage on BBC One starts on Sunday at 1:15, but our watch along starts a full 15 minutes before that. So join us from 1 p.m. tomorrow.
Exactamundo, mate. That's the main reason why they should come and listen to us. But it's not, though, is it? It's not there.
The massive Blades bias and the fact that so many people have said it's the closest you can get to sitting next to your mate watching a game, or that feeling of being in a pub just chatting to friends about the Blades. That's what we want to do. We're trying to bring Blades together at obviously a difficult time. Exactly,
and we've said this from most of the season, really, that the players are getting a lot of crap on social media. I couldn't think of a better word to use than crap on social media, because there's nowhere to vent, fans to vent, and that can be a good place to vent. We'll listen to you. Don't go and give the players hate. Give it to us. We'll accept it, and we'll try and talk it round. So anyway, it's the last match. Do I really want to talk about this?
You could just do that sigh, and it would have covered most of the previous matches every time we've done these. You could just go,
yeah, exactly. I got some right grief from somebody in the comments of my match reaction, because obviously I did it straight after, which is always quite difficult after we've done a 2.5 hour stream.
Yeah.
But the fact that I didn't want to watch the highlights back for obvious reasons. We lost 5-0, if anyone doesn't know already. And then you look at the scorers, and it's like Iheanacho, and they all kind of roll into one, don't they? And you're thinking, oh, what was that goal? What happened there? And that kind of just did it live. And then somebody came on and was like, why are you even doing this? You shouldn't be doing this, blah, blah, blah. You don't even know what happened in the match. And I thought, oh, can't be bothered. And to be honest, mate, that's how I felt for most of these match reactions this season, because we've either lost 1-0 or we've lost 2-1. And now we're starting to lose 5s and 4s and stuff.
Well, what I would say about you, Nick, is you remember Blade stuff, and I've said this to you throughout the time watching the programme, even before I came on board, is that you remember Blade stuff, and I can't believe how well your memory is good at like getting detail back from a game that you've just watched. But a bit like me, you don't remember stuff for the opposition too well, and I think that's because we don't care.
Too right, mate. Too right. And do you know when fans say, oh, he played well for the other side, or he played well the last time we played against them? I'm like, I only watch our players.
I'm the same. Completely the same. Did he? Okay.
Yeah, unless it's someone like Ronaldo when he came to Bramall Lane. He might have missed that open net. but he certainly tore as a new one, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, that open net miss is all he's going to be remembered for in his entire career.
Exactly. So, yeah, we played Leicester. We lost 5-0. We were pretty poor. But from what's come out on social media this week, the players seem to be in high spirits. We saw the video of Shirecliffe. They all seem to be enjoying doing sprints and stuff, which I never enjoyed doing when I played football. So hopefully we'll have a bit of a renewed sort of oomph going into this game, and they can give us something to cheer about. So anyway, let's talk about last time out, Hal. So do you want to just take it away?
Yeah, from 5 goals away from home to 5 goals away from home. Chelsea 4, Sheffield United 1. Chelsea came from behind to beat us at Stamford Bridge. I hated this game. I loved the first few minutes. David McGoldrick gave us the lead in the 9th minute. Deft little flick from close range. I thought it was just the perfect start, but we absolutely capitulated. Tammy Abraham, who's just adores playing against Sheffield United, scuffed half volley, bounced past Aaron Ramsdale when he was going through a really tough spell. That was before Ben Chilwell touched in Ziyech's cross. Ziyech, I remember, had a really good game. That was at the back post. Ziyech turned provider again after the break when Thiago Silva headed in his free kick at the near post before Timo Werner added a 4th. And it was an awful day at the office.
It was, mate. It was really poor. The first goal, though, like you just said, it was probably the best of the season. It was so well worked. The little ball back to, was it Baldock? It was a short corner. And then I think it was Norwood playing it back to Baldock. It was just gorgeous. And then the ball to start. Oh, I could go.
See what I mean?
Watch that. Yeah.
You remember the detail of that. Now, if I ask you to tell me about Chelsea's 3rd goal. See?
Yeah, exactly. We're not bothered, are we, mate? We're not bothered about all that.
Do you know what it is? We're Blades.
We're Blades. And we're not going to apologise for that, are we, mate?
Absolutely.
So, let's get into team news. It's very much as we expected. Sander Berge, Jack O'Connell, Jack Robinson, all out long-termers. We've not seen much from Jack O'Connell in the last few weeks. Obviously, they kept putting pictures of him on social media. Look, he's getting back into fitness, and I've not seen him for a bit. John Egan, we've seen pictures of him on the grass this week, so that's nice to see, even though we probably don't want to see him for the rest of the season. We don't want him to get that. Don't want anything else to happen to that little toe of his. Maybe not the little toe. It might have been the big toe. I think it was the big toe. But we don't want anything to happen to Johnny Egan. What's the point? We're already relegated, pretty much. We've also got to talk about, I think there's no other short-termers other than whether Jags is going to play. It looks like Jags is possibly going to play in this game because he's been seen training. There was a picture of him with a smile on his face, which was quite nice because obviously his brother passed away earlier in the week. Hal, you did a lovely little, I'm going to say montage, that's not the right word. Tribute. A lovely little tribute to him, didn't you? Stephen Jagielka in the week. I'm still not sure what exactly happened to him because it's a very young age to pass away. So, yeah, I'm not too sure. Do you know any other details?
No, I mean, 43, dreadfully sad. And to be honest, Nick, I haven't actually seeked out details because I think, in a way, it doesn't matter. It's just the thoughts are, of course, with the family.
No, it doesn't matter at all. It's just very sad for someone at such a young age to lose a life. Well, anyway, that's about it. Going on to the predicted lineup, I'll bring up my predicted lineup right here on screen right now. I didn't know what to do with the strikers. But we'll go through. Ramsdale in the goal. Basham right centre-back. Obviously came back against Leicester. Maybe he didn't want to because look at what happened. It probably would have looked better if Basham wasn't there. He would have come back in with renewed confidence.
Although he did clear a certain goal off the line to prevent the scoreline being, abacus kind of status. So... he did all right there. And actually, one thing I will just praise again is you predicted Basham would come back when he first got injured for Leicester away.
I did. It might have been a bit lucky, but I just know Basham, and Basham will play in every game if he can do, no matter how he is. I've gone Jagielka at centre back because I thought I don't really want to see Enda Stevens playing left centre back. I don't really want to see Kean Bryan playing central centre-back. So I've gone for Jags at central centre-back. Hopefully he plays in this game, but if he doesn't want to, I think it's one of them where like you give him the choice. You give Jags the choice. If he wants to play, then play him. If he doesn't, you completely understand. Then we've gone Kean Bryan at left centre-back. He had a really poor game against Leicester. He was marking Iheanacho, and Iheanacho scored a hat-trick. So that tells you all you need to know about Kean Bryan's performance against Leicester. Enda Stevens at left wing-back. He's been shocking for many, many weeks now. I would like to see Ozzy at least at left wing-back, if not in Lundstrom's place. But as you can see at the top of the screen, it is the predicted lineup. So I've had to put Enda Stevens in there. I've had to put Lundstrom in there. I've put Norwood in there. I don't think Norwood was too bad against Leicester. He got a lot of grief. But I think Norwood just gets grief nowadays, even if he doesn't particularly play poor. Fleck in there as well. And finally, I didn't know who to go in here. I would like to see Didsy. Don't get me wrong. I've not put him in here. But Didsy, for me, has to start if he's fit. But the reason why I've not put him in is because he's unfit, apparently. He's been on the grass, but we don't know if he's fit or not. So I've gone Burke and I've gone Brewster. It's just pulling the names out of the hat at this point, Hal, isn't it?
Well, I thought you might have done that because of the old pacing behind with Burke. You know, he's got that raw pace. Yeah. He is also strong. If he could finish, he'd be a fantastic striker. But he's not a striker, and we've tried to form him into a striker at the worst possible time for Sheffield United to try and do that in our worst season in my living memory.
Yeah, definitely. But he has shown glimpses of brilliance this season. Mostly it's from his pace. But I remember one ball, again, it's my memory being weird. I remember one ball against a team at home that went miles in the air. And I'm thinking, he's got a touch like a rhinoceros, hasn't he? So when the ball comes down, it's just going to fly off his boot. And he brought it down with such precision. It was like Didsy bringing it out of the sky. It's like, I think there is a player in there, and he's definitely got the pace to burn. So he could be unplayable next season if he really wants to be.
There's some quotes from Max Lowe in the Matchday programme because Max was playing for Derby's youth team up against Ollie Burke when he was in Nottingham Forest's youth team, saying that they came up against each other a lot and that Ollie Burke was really the star of that Forest youth team, and people in the area would all know the name Ollie Burke because of that electric pace and strength. But of course, he was a right winger in those days, and then when he went to Spain, he played right wing back. So, you know, he didn't come in to be a striker.
No, he didn't, and we've had to shoehorn him into that position because there's nowhere else. We've got two of our best players are right wing backs, so you're not going to play him there. And you could say that Bogle's not a great defender. You can't see Ollie Burke being a good defender, can you? Really?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to find room for Bogle in our side week in, week out. Exactly the same with Ben Osborne because neither of them ever seem to really let us down.
No, definitely not. And do you know what, mate? I would like to see Bogle on that right-hand side of midfield. Not right wing, I mean in this formation right now. But he's not been given the chance, has he? He came on against Brighton, and I thought he was brilliant.
Yeah,
I thought he was really good in that position, but he's not. I don't think he's been given another chance there. He's definitely not started a game. He may have come on and played there in patches. Definitely not really been given a proper chance at right centre mid.
Yeah, and I'm convinced we're going to stick with this 3-5-2 because it is right throughout the entire academy structure to the first team implemented. So I don't see that changing, certainly not under Paul Heckingbottom. I think that's one of the reasons why he was thrown into the position he was, because he already plays 3-5-2.
Yeah, exactly. But he's no Chris Wilder, is he? He doesn't know this system inside and out. Wilder had been playing it for kind of 4 or 5 years. But anyway, we're not talking about Wilder today. We've done that one to death, haven't we? So we'll move on to Chelsea. Hal, do you want to tell us all about Chelsea and the team news?
Chelsea defender Thiago Silva is almost ready to return after a thigh injury, but Thomas Tuchel probably not going to risk him, which is, I think, good news for the Blades. The Blues will, annoyingly, have Tammy Abraham back after ankle trouble, and Mason Mount, and Jorginho, who actually was really awful at Bramall Lane when we smashed Chelsea at the end of last season. The Jorginho could be available, having missed the midweek Champions League win over Atletico Madrid. That, of course, was through suspension. Chelsea's predicted 11. They're going to play a 3-4-2-1. who knows who's going to be in goal? It's a cup game, so maybe Kepa. Then I think Azpilicueta, Zuma, Christiansen, Hudson-Odoi, Jorginho, as I've mentioned, Kovacic, Ben Chilwell, Mason Mount, the very, very handsome Olivier Giroud, and Timo Werner.
Twice then, you had me shaking my head and then Bobby was shaking his head as well. A couple of those jokes in there. Are we going to do a score prediction? Do we want to risk it?
I had a dream, you have a really vivid dream and you wake up and you remember all of it.
Yeah.
I dreamt that I couldn't bring myself to watch the game, which obviously wouldn't happen because I'm doing the watch along. But I dreamt that I couldn't bring myself to watch it and I would just look at the score at full time online. And I went online and I saw 5-5. Right now, we've only
was it Swindon away? Was it Swindon away by any chance?
We've scored, I think, 6 goals in the entire cup competition this season. So scoring 5 in one game away from home, pretty unlikely. And then, of course, it went to extra time, and I decided, I'll stick the telly on for extra time. And as soon as I stuck it on, Azpilicueta scored a winner for Chelsea. So 6-5 is my prediction.
That's fair enough. I'm going to go a little bit more negative. I'm going to go 2-0. I've just left it on there from the Leicester game. I think 2-0. I don't know. I'm fearing for his lives in this game, mate. It could be a back-to-back 5-0ers.
Well, shall I cheer you up with a memorable match?
Yes, please.
1992, 31st of October. Ooh. Of course, 31st of October. Is that Halloween? Was that the 30th? I can't remember.
Oh, God.
I'm a man. I don't do dates. Chelsea 1, Sheffield United 2. Now, the reason I've picked this is a Blades win at Stamford Bridge. They are few and far between, but Glyn Hodges with a crafty pass in behind Frank Sinclair, and on 40 minutes, Adrian Littlejohn poked home. Within a minute, Chelsea equalised through Andy Townsend, he of Tactics Truck fame. And it looked like the home side would, of course, predictably romp home to victory. But on 57 minutes, a dreadful error by Hitchcock, the home keeper, was pounced upon by Livewire Littlejohn, who basically fed the ball on a plate to strike partner Brian Dean, who really couldn't miss. It was almost on the goal line for him. 2 former Blades featured in that Chelsea 11, one that we'll mention later. The other was, of course, the legend David Lee. I think your favourite player.
David Lee.
Our team that day, Simon Tracy, Paul Beasley, Brian Gale, Tom Cowan, Kevin Gage. We had John Gannon, Glyn Hodges, Paul Rogers, Mitch Ward, Brian Dean, and Adrian Littlejohn.
I love that from Sam. Wasn't even born in 1992.
All right.
To be honest, mate, I don't remember that. I was 5.
One thing I liked about this is it was when the Premier League was in its infancy, and it was before the nonsense of commercialisation and everything being for profit. And the Blades just wore their home shirt, and Chelsea wore their home shirt. And of course, red and white stripes, you can at Stamford Bridge wear that. There is no chance we will wear our home shirt as we should tomorrow. And it's just something, it's a little thing, but it kind of rankles with me.
Yeah. What did we wear in the last game against Chelsea? Was it it won't have been the green, it'll be the pink, won't it? Yeah.
This one, that's why I'm wearing it.
I'm trying to remember Didsy going away doing that. Well,
I think it was pink. I hope it was pink.
Yeah, I'm doing my usual thing and throwing you under the bus, aren't I?
No, let's look at Bobby. Will know. Bobby, give us a thumbs up if it was pink.
Oh, he's checking.
Oh, it was green. Was it green? It was pink.
No. He's checking. Let him check. We'll move on to play connections now, shall we, mate?
Yep. Sorry, Bobby.
So I throw you under the bus.
He said it was red. He said it was red and white. So have I just had a big go at the nonsense? And actually, we were red and white. Oh well.
You just had a massive brain fart, haven't you?
Thanks, Bobby.
So yeah, let's move on to play connections, mate. Shall I go first?
Go for it.
I'm trying to remember which ones were mine. I'm pretty sure I know. First of all, we might as well go for the main man. He's not going to be playing in this game, unfortunately. Probably should have mentioned that in the team news.
Let me just point out that, of course, he is already cup-tied, so there'd be no reason why he couldn't play in this game, except Chelsea have made the decision, despite their other lone players allowed to play in the cup, that he cannot play against them.
Wait, what? I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, so I mean, he could have played because they can't use him if the rest of the season. If they got to the FA Cup final, they couldn't use him. So why couldn't he play? Well, they've just decided, and they have that right, that he's not going to play against them.
That's fair play. I'll give him that. I wouldn't. The other way around, there's no way we would want somebody to play to better the other side, because he definitely does better our team, really. But we'll get back into him. Ethan Ampadu obviously plays for Chelsea, parent club, currently playing for us. I don't think he's going to be at Chelsea for more than a few more seasons, because I don't think he's pulled up any trees at Sheffield United. But at the same time, they seem to love him, and so do Wales as well. So fair play to him. I hope he does well. Seems like a nice lad. On to the next one, Hal.
Yeah, we should just point out, we get a bit of mention, certainly on Twitter, like, how could you forget him? How could you forget him? We're only picking 2 each. All right. I've already mentioned David Lee. All right. We know the players. I'm going to go. I'm going to go with Graham Stewart, who is not my favourite player who played for both, because, of course, when he came from Everton, Mitch Ward went in the other direction, who is still my favourite Blade pretty much of all time. So, Graham Stewart is remembered, I think, more fondly at Chelsea. He was a very good midfielder for them. And I think for us, he was all right. We perhaps saw glimpses, certainly, of Graham Stewart being the Premier League player that he was before. And then when he left us and went to Charlton, he still had a really good career. But maybe he didn't always give his best for us. I might be being a bit harsh there. But I don't remember him quite being the player I expected when I knew he was coming from Everton. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I think you're being a bit harsh on him there, to be fair. I thought he was a good professional. Maybe he wasn't amazing, but he did drop down a division, and he didn't have that blistering pace that he had. I'm joking. He didn't really have any pace.
He didn't have any pace.
We'll move on to the next. Go on, sorry.
I'm definitely. My memory is clouded by the fact that I always saw him as the man who stole Mitch Ward from me.
I don't think it was his fault, though.
No, of course it wasn't. No, it's just I was 15. I'm allowed to be petulant.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough completely. Next up, I'm going to go for another pretty boring one in Gary Cahill, quite recent, obviously played for us after we'd come down from the Premier League. I don't know whether it was the season after or the season after that, but Gary Cahill...
No, it was a Brian Robson signing, so it was straight after.
It was the season after, fair enough. From the look of that shirt, it definitely looks like that. And yeah, as you can see, he's got the Champions League there in his hands. He's won the Premier League. He's done very, very well in his career, played for England. But you could say that our loan spell made him as a footballer. What do you think, Hal?
Oh, there's no question. And of course, Gary Cahill should have, and I think he'll look back on his career and with huge regret, he should have stayed at Bramall Lane, because, of course, he would have got to play in League One, and he could have won that, and he'll never say that. So
exactly. Champions of League One, you'll never say that.
Mm-hmm. And it's a better trophy than the Champions League, arguably, as well. Shall we do the chant for my next choice? And we'll try and get it in unison. 3, 2, 1. John Harley. Good. That went better in rehearsal. So John Harley, left back extraordinaire, played for Chelsea and Fulham, controversially, the rivalry there. I thought he was excellent for us on loan. I remember a wonderful goal he scored away at Reading at the Medeski Stadium, which I watched with Statsman Adam. And then we got him later on, and he just wasn't quite the same left back. We tried to shoehorn him in with Alan Wright, and it never really worked. So I remember him fondly for John Harley the first.
Yeah, definitely. Alan Wright was such a great professional, though, wasn't he? Very rarely put a foot wrong. So it's going to be hard to kick him out of the side when he was so good for so many years. But like you said...
Alan Wright man-marking Carlton Cole in an FA Cup game against Aston Villa and marked him out of the game. Little Alan Wright, 5'2" if he's a day, and Carlton Cole significantly taller. So, yeah, Alan Wright, good professional, absolutely spot on. Yeah,
but you're absolutely right, though, mate. How many players have we had on loan that we thought, oh, I wish we could sign them? And then you do, and it just doesn't work out, does it? More often than not.
They're playing for a contract in a lot of cases. And I don't think that was the case for John Harley at all. I just think, for whatever reason, it didn't work out second time round. A scorer of great goals, not a scorer often of goals, but if you have a look on YouTube at some of John Harley's career goals, wow.
Absolutely, mate. Do you know what I always remember? And I think this is right. I wish I'd not brought this up, because I'm thinking, if I'm wrong here, I'm going to look stupid. But Arsenal at home, second leg of the FA Cup, I believe, he had a header saved in the dying moments. It's when Paddy Kenny got injured and he could only dive one way for the penalties. And I remember I'm sure I remember John Harley in the dying seconds with a diving header, and the keeper saved it.
It was a replay. It was a replay, wasn't it, rather than second leg? But it was.
Well, that's what I meant. I meant replay. Sorry, yeah.
I remember Michael Tongue missing a sitter in the first minute, and we never really had another great chance until that John Harley moment. And yeah, Kenny hurting his hip and could only dive one way, so obviously they were going to win the penalty shootout. I was so angry after that game. I remember I was with my parents in Scotland, and it was really, really bad weather, like proper snowing. And I got in the car and just drove in the middle of the night. Just like I can't face it. I can't sleep after that. Yeah. I'm just going to go for a really long drive.
Fair enough. Yeah, I never understand why Paddy Kenny was in the net for that penalty shootout, because we must have had a goalkeeper on the bench, even though it was Neil Warnock. And if we didn't, Jags, anyone, I could have got it net.
I agree with that. Put Jags
me going in the net.
No, put Jags in made a lot of sense. But also, that's another game that I missed.
Oh, mate!
Because I went to the first game at Arsenal, and I didn't. I was in Scotland for the replay.
Fair enough. We'll let you off. Work. It was work, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's always work.
Yeah, fair play. You weren't watching Arbroath at home, were you?
No, or Forfar getting 4 or anything like that.
445 East 54. I always remember that on the radio. Anyway, we'll leave that there. So I think we're about done.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hal. Really appreciate you being here.
1 p.m. tomorrow, watch along. Please do join us. We will try and make it bearable no matter what happens in the game. I've already said I think there's going to be 11 goals in it.
There probably will be as well. And then, yeah, definitely an Aspilicueta winner.
It makes so much sense.
It does, mate. It does. Anyway, it makes more sense than us going through to the next round, to be honest. Anyway, I started on a negative. I'm going to end on a negative.
Fine.
Anyway, I'm only messing. If we can win this, it'll give us a lease of life this season.
I'll tell you what. If we win this, we're winning the whole competition, and our season will not be a complete write-off.
Do you know what? I don't even remember who else is in the FA Cup. I'm that much expecting us to get knocked out. Are we talking Man City and
Southampton, Man City? Yeah, so some big boys in there. But if we beat Chelsea away, we can beat anyone.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, let's leave it there before we get too excited and thinking we're going to win the FA Cup.
Hoorah!
Come on, lads. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. Thank you, Hal. Thank you, Bobby, for being in the background and being an absolute legend as usual. We'll see you at 1 tomorrow.